Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be designing my catch-all planner horizontal layout for the first week of August. So come plan with me. And I've got these mod liners here all ready to go, as well as this blending palette and water brush pen, these washi tapes, these Happy Planner sticker books, and this Planning Things sticker book, which I'll pull from. Okay, so let's lay down some wax paper to get things started. And at the beginning of this video, I could not find my tweezers. They were actually deep in my cup, but I was looking everywhere for them, so never mind the random pausing here for me to try to find my tweezers. Anyway, the plan this week is to use these really pretty watercolor florals from the Planning Things crystal sticker book, I think it's called. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to use a 3-color or 2-color theme, so we're going to start with 2-color, and then if I feel like I need it, I'll add in a third. But it has these really cool kind of lime green florals, which I thought had a summery vibe, and then I'm going to pair those with some purple, almost indigo colored florals that I think will be a good contrast for the lime green. And if I needed, I'll add in that teal, but I'm kind of steering away from doing that just because I really think it'll be a better spread, more simplified. So I've already pulled in some of the bigger florals, kind of using those as the base for this wreath I want to produce. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, honestly, when I started, but I have done quite a few border spreads with florals lately, and I've done some more random ones where it's kind of scattered all around the page. So I just thought it would be nice to pull in a wreath or something a little bit different visually, just to mix things up. And the wreaths always come out really good with floral, so that's what we're going to do here. Instead of mixing the colors, what I decided to do was keep them separate, so almost like a half and half vibe, which I think will look a little bit better. Again, kind of simpler so that it'll look more clean and less busy. And I have quite a few of the smaller florals here in the green and a number of them in the blue, but not too many of the larger blue ones, so I'm gonna have to stretch those a bit to make them fill the whole half circle. I'm gonna use this guy here even. It's a stem floral that was included there, but I'm gonna use it to, again, help beef things up a little bit. So I'm just gonna cut off the stem so it matches the vibe of the other florals and stick it where I can to fill in the gaps. So I think we're getting pretty close. I may want to add a few more florals in here. We'll see. I also do want to add in these leaf elements to give it a little bit more texture. I think that will help add that detail that sometimes makes a spread really come to life. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to add them in here and there where I see a little bit of a gap in between or nearby florals, just to fill things out. Just dropping them in where they fit. And pretty much going to end up using all of the ones here on the page. Again, more for that detail aspect. The color is definitely more of a mix of kind of greens, and there is some warmer greens in there with the leaves, but I think because they're so small, it really doesn't detract from that 2-color idea. So we're just going to use them all, put them in where they fit. I'm going to use pretty much all of them. Going to go ahead and go into the second page here, use some of these as well, dropping them in. I like to put the leaves in breaks in the floral petals, so like where two petals meet. It's usually a good place to try to drop them in so they feel more natural, or coming off of a petal if the leaves make sense. So like if they're large enough, usually. If they're smaller, it usually does better in between the petals. And okay, I think we're pretty close here. I've gotten pretty much all of the things I think I want to use, but I do want to make some adjustments to the roundness of the wreath. It's a little bit wonky on the edges there, kind of like right in the middle. So I'm going to try to work that. I'm going to fix this one side, but really the side that's super wonky is there on the right where the green and the blue meet. So we'll have to figure that out. Comes in a little bit into the space of the wreath, so you need to adjust just so it's more circular. That should work. I think this is where I need that last smaller floral. Just going to try to drop that in. Again, give me a little bit more of a stretch there. And that looks good. So I think I've got all the florals in. Let's go ahead and add some focus boxes to the spread. I'm in the Happy Planner Colorful Boxes sticker book. I'm going to pull in a couple of lime green boxes and some purple boxes. And now I'm in the Girl with Goals sticker book. In here, I saw that there were some purple quotes that I might be able to use. I also pulled in the Dreamweaver sticker book because I did see some gradient kind of teal to purple quotes that might be good. Also this Gold Star quote sticker book, which had some teal and lime green quotes that I thought I might pull in. But when I flipped through the Daydreamer and the Gold Star quotes sticker book, I didn't really find anything that I felt fit now that I had this two-color theme. So let's go ahead and put those to the side, stick with the Girl with Goals, and see if I can find a quote or two to add to the spread. This whole page has got a bunch of purple quotes, which I think is going to be a really nice fit here. They're a little bit smaller, though, than the other one, so maybe we'll bring in more than one and figure out where a good spot would be for those. I grabbed this nice script text that will fit really well with this spread, give it a little bit more of an elegance that I think is fitting for the decor. I'm just going to flip through the book, see if there's anything else I want to add in here, maybe as additional headers or things to the focus boxes. But I think we're good, so let's just move forward with that. Let's go ahead and add in a bit more color, though, with this washi tape. So I'm just going to stick with the blue, purple tones and the lime green tones. And at first I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but then I decided to do a little bit of like a gradient of color with the washi overlay, having the darker navy blue tone in the center and then it fading out into the purple to the edges, and then doing basically the same thing but with the lime green washi tapes at the top, with the darker one in the center and the lighter ones on the edge. And then I decided that I was just going to go ahead and do the side borders as well. So we're going to do a kind of a gradient of the lime green to the purple. And then we'll do the same thing here on the left side, just kind of adding more of that color to the spread without taking up more space, because that wreath takes up a lot of functional space, so just want to make sure that I can still use the spread to its fullest. And okay, I think we are ready to go here with the layout, moving it onto the sheet. So we'll start off with the washi tape for now. This one needed to be realigned, so we're going to go ahead and do them separately. And then I'll lay them in on top of each other. We'll go ahead and do the opposite side there next. I'm bringing it in a little bit from the edge. I think that just looks a little bit better with the crossing of the borders. The bottom has a very skinny area for laying in the washi, so I'm going to go ahead and white out actually that last line and then just finish it off by whiting out the edges on the sides there as well. So it looks like it's got a wider border there at the bottom when we're done. And that will just, I think, help with the symmetry of the spread and make things look a little bit better. Let's go ahead and lay this washi tape here at the top. Again, setting it down a bit from the edge to give a little bit of white on the edge so it doesn't touch the side of the page. And now we'll do the bottom since the whiteout has probably dried and lay that in. And I found my tweezers, FYI, in case you missed that part. Using those now. So we'll drop in the focus boxes next. And I think just to give myself as much room as possible for my checklist, I'm going to align them right to the edge of the day. I had them going off the page originally before I put in that washi tape because I wanted to have as much room as possible, but since I have the border now, I didn't want to have them overlapping that. So we will just put them as close as I think I can and still have it look good by aligning them there to the day border. And okay, let's start dropping in the wreath. We are going to roll it off since all of those stickers are touching, which goes pretty well actually. However, I did start it without really thinking about whiting out behind those stickers there at the top. So I'm going to get started with that as we go down here through the page, but I just decided to leave the ones at the top. I didn't feel like going back and pulling them up and whiting out behind them. But I think it will really help just to white out those darker black lines so that the florals look a little more seamless. So we're going to go ahead and work our way down the page. Just go ahead and get them all done at once. That way they have time to dry before I roll them off. And this actually worked really well because the wreath was already started at the top, so I knew it wasn't going to shift around once I laid it down, and that allowed me to really figure out where those florals were going to land. So we'll let that dry. I think we're ready now to go ahead and finish rolling off the rest of the wreath. This works really, really well when the stickers are touching. I haven't really done very many roll-off spreads lately, so if you're new to my channel, I really like this for the wax paper when you have a large section of stickers all touching. Rolling them off from the wax paper to the page really makes things a lot easier. I've done this a couple of times in the past, especially when I have big, intricate designs like this. Something to keep in mind. It's a nice tool to have and works pretty well on most applications where, again, the stickers are touching. Just going to go ahead and go through, clean up some of the edges I may have missed with the white out. And I'm just using a white opaque gel pen for this. Works really good. My favorite will be linked down below if you want to use the one I like to use, but pretty much any one will do. And now I'm going to go ahead and drop in those quotes. Just trying to nestle them up against the wreath again so that it doesn't take away from that functional space, but adds a little something extra there to the spread. So here comes the fun part, and I say that sarcastically. I'm going to go ahead and trim and separate the pages, and then we will clean out the holes. I hesitate to do my happy planner punch for spreads like this because it is so temperamental. And because this paper isn't very thick, my power disc punch really has a little bit of a tough time with it, honestly. It will work, but I do find sometimes it's just a little bit easier to hand cut out the holes using my precision cutter. It works like a pen, so it's not that difficult to do, and I feel like the results are a little bit more predictable. So there's nothing worse than getting my page stuck in my Happy Planner punch, or if like I over punch because my disc power punch, kind of crushes the page a little bit. So yeah, that's why I do it by hand. But if you have a good Happy Planner punch, this should be a really easy thing for you to repunch and make your life a little bit easier in the end. Whatever works best with the tools that you've got. But again, you don't actually need a punch in order to make this work. You can hand cut it out. So almost done with this. And last but not least, I want to add a little bit of texture here with a little bit of ink and water, just like a splash of splatter. It's going to be pretty fine because I'm not using a real thick brush, but just enough to give a little more color to the spread without being intrusive. So I mixed the blue and purple mile liners that I had there to get a nice kind of deep blue purple tone. And now I'm going to use the lime green one for the top. Again, more for color. This one's a little bit harder to see, so I did a little bit more than the other one just to try to get it to show up on the page. You can really see the fine details of the spread at the end of the video where I do my slow pan of the entire spread, because I know it's sometimes hard to see some of the smaller things here from this angle. And that said, I'm just going to drop in the checklist using those same mild liners. And once I'm done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye!